The energy inside Jennifer Hudson's studio was electric as Chaka Khan stepped onto the stage, welcomed by thunderous applause and Jennifer's signature high-energy excitement. The two legends embraced warmly at first, laughing as they reminisced about past award shows and performances. But beneath the cheerful surface, there was a subtle tension. Chaka's sharp focus and Jennifer's eager curiosity seemed slightly out of sync. Even the audience noticed a flicker of discomfort when Jennifer mentioned she had a few bold questions prepared, prompting Chaka to raise an eyebrow with playful suspicion that didn't quite feel like a joke. 2. Things began to shift when Jennifer brought up the topic of vocal rankings, a subject that had already sparked tension between Chaka and the media earlier in the year. Jennifer mentioned a viral list ranking the top 10 greatest female vocalists, noting that both she and Chaka were on it. Chaka's expression tightened instantly. "Those lists don't mean anything," she said coolly. Jennifer laughed lightly, trying to ease the mood, but Chaka's tone suggested she wasn't in the mood for comparisons, especially on live television. 3. Jennifer attempted to pivot by mentioning how honored she felt to be mentioned alongside Chaka, calling her a foundational influence. But instead of softening, Chaka took offense. "I've been doing this for decades, Jennifer," she said sharply. "I don't need validation from a list, or anyone else." The audience reacted with an uneasy murmur as Jennifer blinked in surprise, clearly taken aback by the sudden intensity. What was meant to be a compliment had unexpectedly ignited a spark of irritation. 4. Determined to keep the conversation positive, Jennifer tried to shift the focus back to music, asking Chaka about her approach to vocal training. But Chaka interjected before she could finish, pointing out that younger artists focus too much on runs and show-offs rather than soul. Jennifer, who is known for her powerful vocal runs, stiffened at the comment. She gave a polite smile, but her tone cooled as she responded, "Runs are part of expression, too." The subtle disagreement grew visible, like a slow burn creeping across the stage. 5. Chaka leaned forward, eyes narrowing slightly. "Expression is one thing," she replied, "but technique should always come first." Jennifer's smile faded entirely. "I respect technique," she said, "but every singer has their own style." The tension in the room was thick as audience members exchanged uneasy glances. Jennifer and Chaka, two powerhouse vocalists, were no longer simply discussing music, they were defending their identities as artists. 6. Jennifer attempted to break the tension with a joke, asking, "So you're saying I do too much?" But Chaka didn't laugh. Instead, she said, "Sometimes less is more. Not every note needs fireworks." The crowd gasped. Jennifer's posture stiffened as she placed her hand on her thigh, steadying herself. "Well, I sing from my heart," she said, her voice firm. Chaka shrugged, replying, "We all do. But heart doesn't mean overdoing it." The comment landed like a slap. 7. Jennifer tried to steer the interview back under control, but Chaka wasn't finished. She remarked that certain singers today haven't earned their place yet. Jennifer's eyes widened slightly, as if silently questioning whether the comment was directed at her. The tension that had been simmering finally began to boil. "I've worked for everything I have," Jennifer said calmly but intensely. "And I know my worth." Chaka simply crossed her arms, responding with a cool, "Good. Then act like it." 8. At that moment, the atmosphere snapped. The audience gasped, some even booed softly, and Jennifer's face flashed with a mixture of disbelief and frustration. "Chaka, I brought you here with love," Jennifer said, her voice trembling slightly. "But I won't sit here and be disrespected on my own show." Chaka stood abruptly, brushing off her outfit as if shedding the moment itself. "Then maybe I shouldn't be here," she replied sharply. 9. Crew members scrambled behind the cameras as Chaka took a step away from the chair, clearly intending to walk off. Jennifer called after her, trying to salvage the interview, but Chaka held up a hand. "I'm done," she said, shaking her head. Without another word, she turned and walked toward the backstage exit. The studio erupted in stunned whispers as Jennifer sat frozen, processing what had just unfolded in front of millions of viewers. 10. As the cameras cut to an emergency commercial break, Jennifer exhaled deeply, visibly shaken but trying to regain composure. Backstage, Chaka paced angrily, muttering about being set up, while her team tried to calm her down. Producers rushed back and forth, desperately attempting to manage the fallout. By the time the show returned, Jennifer addressed the audience with a composed but firm tone, explaining that misunderstandings happen, even between legends. But the moment was already viral, destined to be replayed, analyzed, and debated across the internet as one of the most shocking daytime TV confrontations in recent memory.